Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first annual Animation and Rant. Also, good belated May the 4th be with you. I know I'm a bit late on that, but I was unable to get this video out yesterday, so I'm doing it today. And today we're going to be doing my review on the Rise of Skywalker, which I just watched yesterday because now it is free on, well, quote unquote, free on Disney Plus. And yeah, so let's get into it. First thing I thought on Rise of Skywalker was, man, this thing is slow. Oh my god, like, I hardly made it through it. I was gonna do the same thing I did with Birds of Prey and just stop it in the middle because it was boring as heck. The fact that they brought back Emperor Palpatine for be the villain in the last movie, I don't quite understand that. I mean, Plagueis would have been a better character to bring back because then they wouldn't have ruined the episode 4, 5, and 6 because Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker was supposed to be the one who defeated the Sith, and they could have shown that Darth Plagueis actually finished figuring out how to manipulate the midichlorians to keep himself alive, and just Sidious did not know that his former master was living, right? And then after Return of the Jedi, like, that was the time for Plagueis to rise again. I mean, that would have made sense. And as for the like, I don't know if they were just trying to copy Return of the Jedi, or J.J. Abrams just doesn't have an imagination, but come on. Why did he have to die the same way? First, Palpatine got his face deformed because he got his Force lightning thrown back at him in episode 3. And then in episode 6, he had the Force lightning electrocute himself, go out of control and electrocute himself. And then in the 9th movie, he had the Force lightning bounce back off of Rey's lightsaber onto his face again. I mean, how can you be the most powerful Sith Lord and not figure out, maybe using Force lightning against lightsabers isn't the best idea. Maybe that's the reason why my face is so disformed. Anyways, that's my rant on that. And don't get me started on Rey. In the what was it? In the Force Awakens, I was kind of excited to see where they were heading with this character, because she seemed to have, like, it was a mystery who her parents was, and she was kind of similar to Luke Skywalker at the beginning. I like, a lot of things didn't really make sense of, like, how well she was in the with the Force and at the beginning, but I mean, I looked over it, and it kind of made sense why she beat Kylo Ren in a duel, because he was shot in the gut, right? So anyways, got a little sidetracked there. Anyways, yeah, so that after Rian Johnson's, like, it was just Mary Sue all the way. Like, she was way too powerful for the amount of training that she had, and like, not being a Skywalker, that was kind of odd. But in being in the Rise of Skywalker, being a Palpatine, I did actually like that. I thought it was kind of cool. But I mean, the other thing is, the Emperor was, like, at the end there, he was trying to get Rey to kill him so he could transfer his essence into Rey. And then Rey killed him in the end. So the ending of Rise of Skywalker doesn't make sense, because she would have been possessed by Palpatine. Technically, that's what should have happened. Like, at the end, when that old lady asked her, "Who are you?" she should have said, "I'm a Palpatine." Right? Like, and then her eyes should have went like yellow, and that would have at least been way more interesting than the ending we got. And when she said she was a Skywalker, it's like, Skywalker is not just a name you can steal. That's kind of what it felt like. She was just proclaiming she was a Skywalker, but she actually wasn't. Like, that's like me saying, "Oh, I'm a Trump," or I'm a Kennedy. I don't know. That's just off the top of my head. Like, I get how Rian Johnson screwed pretty much everything up for J.J. Abrams for the last movie. Like, from what I heard, they had everything sort of set up from 7, 8, and 9, or a general, at least a general idea. But then Rian Johnson just decided, "Oh, I'm going to do my own thing," and pretty much ruined everything, because he stopped the story at 8, and it was supposed to go to 9, and he killed off the villain who was supposed to be in 9. So, like, I get the sort of hole they had there, but like I said, Darth Plagueis would have been a much better villain than bringing back Palpatine for a villain in that last one. And yeah. Also, I've been hearing down the grapevine that there was supposed to be like an epic lightsaber battle between Rey, Kylo Ren, and the Emperor. That would have been way better. That would have been sweet to watch, because apparently it was supposed to be like in episode 1 with Duel of the Fates. That would have been way better than what we actually got with just, I think, Force Drain and Force Lightning. So that would have been a much better battle. Also, than the Emperor's Force Lightning on steroids, just going up in the air and destroying every single ship they had. Wow, I guess not destroying, but like overloading the circuitry in their ships. Also, I didn't get the whole riding on space horses thing on the Star Destroyers. I mean, the Star Destroyers were pretty high in the atmosphere. How does that actually work? Wouldn't you get like 3 feet and be out of breath? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of those Star Destroyers were pretty high up. Like, the Star Destroyer turns the corner or kind of leans to the side a little, and everybody just falls to their death. Yeah, that's a good idea. And don't get me started on those speeders on whatever new desert planet they had. I guess the First Order couldn't, or the Last Order, or whatever they're called in this movie. They couldn't afford the speeders that hovered. They had to go with the ones that had wheels that nobody's ever seen. So they probably used that during like the Sith Wars or the High Republic, because those things look like they like were out of commission and they dragged them out of the garage or just recommissioned them after a million years. I mean, come on, those things look so obsolete, and everything during that chase could have been avoided by the First Order if their vehicles didn't have wheels. So, and then on Poe, I mean, Finn, like just like Rey, he was set up to be a really good character in the first movie, but in the seventh movie, but then he was just like hollowed out as a character. He didn't do anything in the eighth movie, and then like I don't even know what he did in the Rise of Skywalker. Like, what was his point in that movie? And he seemed pretty keen on killing stormtroopers, and that's sort of interesting because he probably trained with a lot of them, and he probably knew a lot of them. So, I mean, they should have shown like him having post-traumatic stress with having to do that, or him struggling with having to shoot them because they're like, he knew these people. So that doesn't, like, that in itself just doesn't make sense, and they lost. They lost a good character in him. As for what is the pilot's name? I can't even, like, this is how bad it is. I can't even remember half of the characters' names. So the pilot they have in that, apparently he's so good, he can go from light speed from one planet to another without calibrating where you have to go, or without figuring what route you have to take, which goes against everything from what I know, in the Star Wars galaxy. Like, literally, you could come out of hyperspace and pretty much just be right in front of a planet and then blow up. But apparently he could just, it's no problem. He could just skip from one space to another, and he doesn't have to calibrate anything. I mean, we saw in Force Awakens what happens when you kind of come out of light speed too close to a planet. You almost die. So it does, like, that in itself doesn't make sense. But apparently, that character's so good he doesn't need to do it. So I think Rey's not the only character that's overpowered, let's just say. And apparently now Force Ghost can hold lightsabers and stuff. That's a pretty good ability. I didn't know that they had. But also I didn't know that Yoda could use Force Lightning. So, I mean, just goes to show. I thought that was a Sith ability. Anyways, so yeah. My thoughts on Rise of Skywalker. In conclusion, not a good movie. It was sort of like, it was a nostalgia movie again, and I mean, for the plot to move along that they used for it included a lot of luck. Like, you had to be somewhere at the exact time at this exact place to figure out this exact thing. So a lot of it just didn't make sense, or it was happenstance. And honestly, I was bored halfway through it. So I was sort of I was glad that they kind of fast forward half of that movie using happenstance, because it was rough. So anyways, that's that's my thought on the Rise of Skywalker from a certain point of view. On another note, it sounds like the Disney is going to be coming out with another. I think it's a trilogy, but some Star Wars movies, which is on the High Republic. So I believe, from this rookie's point of view, it occurs 200 years before the Phantom Menace. So I believe that's just between the Sith Wars and the Phantom Menace. So those will be interesting. I think those will be interesting ones to watch. Also, because Disney will be forced. Well, Lucasfilm will be forced to work without original characters, so they won't have any nostalgic characters to use. So it'll be a lot more original. So hopefully that turns out well. And I also don't quite know what's happening with that Old Republic trilogy that we were supposed to get. I didn't hear anything about whether that was canceled or if that was going to start up again. Because I kept seeing stuff that was saying, "Oh, it's not going to happen." Then it was going to happen. Then it was going to happen. Then it wasn't going to happen. And so I'm just going to hold off on that. But definitely going to make a video on that. So, because those were awesome games that I played. Knights of the Old Republic was an awesome old RPG. And I didn't play it until 3 years ago, pretty much, because I was one of the kids that didn't have any game consoles except for like a really old Game Boy Color. So anyways, those will be some good movies to see. At least I'm hoping, and I'm looking forward to them. So I think that's about it for the Star Wars reviews and Star Wars what's happening from my point of view. So hope you like it, and I'll have my animation video out next week. At least by next week at the latest. So, as a wise man, Red Green, once said, keep your stick on the ice.